We have a voicemail number. That number is 219-2-DAVID-P. Here's a call about tipping, a subject about which I feel very strongly.
Do you like to give tips at restaurants?
No, but I do it.
I think that people should stop tipping at restaurants. You might say, well, that's bad for the, waitress. Well, if you keep tipping at a restaurant, the restaurant owner will continue to not pay a living wage to the waitress or bartender. If everyone stops tipping, then obviously the waitress and bartender will leave and not work at the restaurant. And now the restaurant is stuck with food that they can't serve to their customers.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, they will either close shop or reevaluate their payroll.
And they will also reevaluate their prices. So listen, I've been upfront. I hate tipping culture and how it has developed. I don't like the inconsistency of it. I don't like the increased nature of more and more places where you're allowed to tip. A lot of this is driven by companies like Square and Stripe who put those payment tablets. They collect a portion of every dollar. So it's to the advantage of the companies that do the payment tablets to offer tipping for everything. And then, hey, we'll just collect more money. I tip well everywhere I go. I tip housekeeping when I stay in a hotel, and the valet people, I tip everywhere. But I am very, very much against the entire thing. The problem with saying if we just stop tipping, the restaurants will have to adjust. First of all, the tipping has gone way beyond restaurants at this point. And the first thing that's going to happen is if restaurants immediately play that out. And by the way, some state law allow my understanding is that if the tips don't get that tipped wage up to the minimum wage, the restaurant owner already has to make up that difference. That's my belief, but we should fact check that. In the immediate, if restaurants all of a sudden, because everybody stopped tipping, needed to pay employees dramatically more, they would immediately increase prices significantly at the restaurant. Now, this is effectively what has happened. The tips subsidize, and this is what has happened at restaurants that now say, we include a service charge, please don't tip. And the prices already reflect that. The $12 sandwich might just cost you $15, but they will say, please don't tip. We have a service charge. Many restaurants in New York City have already done this. You look at the menu and it says, we pay our employees well, the prices already reflect that, or we have added a 4% surcharge for the back of the house and tip is already inclusive on the prices, or whatever the case may be. Honestly, I'm more or less for that sort of thing. And I know that at least in the immediate, we're just going to pay more in order to not tip. But there are a bunch of different issues with the tipping model. And it includes that when people come from different countries, you don't always know what's expected. I was recently in the UK. The UK has now taken to, they automatically include 12.5%. So you don't have to think about it. You can ask for it to be removed, but the bill comes out and it automatically says 12.5% tip. And what I like about that is I don't have to think about it. It just is what it is. But my preference would be eliminate tipping, put real pricing that reflects the total cost of paying employees well on the menu. And then I can look at the menu and determine whether I think that this is a restaurant that I want to visit. But I think that if we all just stop tipping cold turkey, it'll be terrible for workers. I don't believe it'll have the effect that our caller believes it will have. Remember, Monday, Memorial Day, this coming Monday, our one-day membership special. If you're thinking about signing up, I would encourage you to do so at a humiliatingly huge discount that we will be offering on Monday. You can be notified via email by getting on our newsletter at davidpakman.com. Bonus show today will be great. We'll talk about the $1.3 billion fine that Meta has been hit with. We will talk about the move to expel Adam Schiff from Congress. And we will talk about the latest with this City Bike lawsuit that is going on. It's crazy. All of those stories and more on today's bonus show.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money, but everybody else that makes money to fund themselves is bad.
I can't possibly say it any better than that. So we will end the show and see you on the bonus show or back here tomorrow.